This week with the Morning Q crew.
Q93, Alexandria's #1 hit music station. You know, one person's favorite movie is another person's least favorite movie. And The Independent put together a list of overrated movies, the most overrated movies, they say, of all time. So let's see if we agree on some of these. American Hustle.
Haven't seen it.
Gravity. I have seen that one. With
Haven't
Sandra
seen
Bullock. That is a it's not boring, but I feel like they're leading up to something, and then it just ends with them being stuck in space. They're just floating off in space, and it's over with. I'm like, what was the point of all this?
Spoiler alert.
Well, it's not much of a spoiler. Private Benjamin.
Haven't seen it.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Haven't seen it.
Prisoners.
Haven't seen it.
Elf.
I can't believe this one's on the list. Listen, Elf's a solid movie.
It's a classic.
I won't say it's like the best movie of all time, but it's not overrated.
It's a holiday classic. Top Gun. The original. I haven't seen that one or the new one.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it.
Okay. Fight Club.
Haven't seen it.
Good Will Hunting.
My dad's favorite movie. Haven't seen it.
I remember watching it in high school, and I really had liked it. I can't tell you a whole bunch about it, but I would like to watch it again, to be honest with you. The Birds.
Haven't seen it.
Gladiator.
This shouldn't be on the list. Gladiator is a good movie.
I've never seen that one.
Good movie.
The Notebook. For all
Haven't
you
seen
romantic people out there. Gone with the Wind.
Haven't seen it.
From 1939. I remember my mom had the DVD, the VHS of this movie. She loved this movie. I think it's like a 3-hour something movie.
This is more so just an exposure of me for not seeing most of these movies.
It's a classic, too, Gone with the Wind. The Revenant.
The Revenant.
Revenant.
That's a good movie. The people that are hating on that, they're just hating on it for fun.
The English Patient.
Haven't ever heard of it, nor seen it.
Once Upon a Time in America.
Don't know if I've seen that one either.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Haven't seen it.
If I did, I was super young, but that's another holiday classic, Brandon, pretty much. It's an older movie, though. It's from 47. And then The Breakfast Club.
I have seen that one. I like that movie. I think it's a good movie.
I've never seen it, but I hear people talk about it all the time, and I'm pretty sure it's a pop culture classic. So, I mean,
I wonder what their reasoning behind some of these is, other than just being a hater.
Friday the 13th.
I haven't seen the original. I've only seen the newer one with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen. I mean, it's not a fantastic movie, but I enjoy it for what it is.
It's all right.
This is the original they're talking about. Grease from 1978.
I love Grease. What do you mean it's overrated?
People
it's a great
love
movie.
Grease. Isn't it? You're the one that I want. Yeah. And then Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
I haven't seen that, but every time somebody tries to explain it to me, it makes me want to see it less. They're like, it's nothing, but it's something, but it's got no plot line, but it's everything. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Some jerk put Up,
Dude, what?
Yeah, the Disney Pixar film.
No, Up's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a really great animated
It's
feature.
heart-wrenching, but it's great.
The Shawshank Redemption.
I know this one pangs me to say. I haven't seen that one either.
Me neither. But I have seen the #1 film they say is overrated, and that's Joker.
I can see why this one's on the list because it's 3 hours of just slow burn nothing.
No, that is a good movie. That is a real good movie.
I like the movie. I'm not saying I don't like the movie, but I can see why somebody wouldn't because it is such a slow burn.
But all the movies created, that's the #1.
There's not like a big payoff. There's a little bit of a payoff.
True.
But most of the time, if you have a slow burn, there's like a big payoff. In the end of Joker, you're just like, okay, like it's over.
If you think that ain't a payoff, you should see the Gravity payoff at the end of that. All right, so the once popular line of food storage containers that was launched in 1946 by a guy named Earl Tupper has gone bankrupt.
Oh, what?
Tupperware has gone bankrupt. Yeah. They've been struggling for years, apparently, thanks to falling demand and more competition from off-brand sites like Amazon, right? Back when they were the only game in town, women threw Tupperware parties and sold sets to their friends. My mother.
She used to do that?
Yeah, and she actually had one this summer.
Wow.
Yeah, for a friend. Someone that sells Tupperware. She was like, okay, I'll throw a party for you.
A Tupperware party.
A Tupperware party.
What even is that like? Do you just bring a bunch of Tupperware and...
Well,
or is there stuff in the Tupperware?
You can bring some, and then you have like a little get together, and then you have like some giveaways, and then you can buy from the little booklet or whatever, or you can just order it online.
That's weird. I've never heard of that.
You can get together, or you can do it, virtually these
wow.
days. But yeah, so it's still a thing, but it's just not as popular as it used to be. It was more of a 90s, early 2000s.
It must be because I've never heard of that.
The good news is it's a debt restructuring thing. So Tupperware isn't going away completely. They're just doing it to deal with more than $700 million of debt that they have racked up.
That's a lot of debt.
Oh, man. But it still feels like the end of an era because it won't be American made at all, actually. They announced in June they'd be closing their last U.S. factory and laying off 148 workers. A factory in Mexico is going to take over production next year. Tupperware stock was only at $1.18 a share to start the week, but fell to 50 cents when the bankruptcy news hit. The all-time high was around $90 a share back in 2013. So sad news for all the Tupperware fans.
And you know what they say? They say buy low, sell high. So maybe now's your time to go and buy some Tupperware stock.
Yeah, and also maybe some of those classic vintage Tupperware items you have, maybe they'll be worth a little bit more on eBay soon. It was funny because my mom, she was trying to buy enough stuff to get some free stuff for that party this summer. So she's like, would you look at the booklet and see if you would want anything for your house? I was like, I probably don't, but let me go ahead and look. The items in that booklet were they look the same as they did back when I was a kid that I remember. Like the pickle container has not changed. The pitcher has not changed. It's like the same design from like the 90s, early 2000s. It's just
So you're saying you
funny.
don't need more Tupperware, Josh?
No, I don't use a lot of Tupperware. I mean, I do have one of those
I'm sure your mom was so disappointed in you.
She was a little disappointed, but that pickle container is really cool. It like holds the juice and the pickles, and you can lift it up where just the pickles come out. It's very convenient.
I guess it's cool if you like pickles, but I don't. So keep it away.
Brian, I know you love when I pick topics based off articles from BuzzFeed.
Oh my gosh.
But what's a daily inconvenience that you still can't believe hasn't been solved yet? You have one, Brandon?
I'm sure BuzzFeed has some stupid ones.
Itchiness. It's so unpleasant. Medications are usually ineffective, especially problematic in chronic cases where it can keep you up all night. You ever get the itchies?
Do I ever get the itchies?
Just
Sometimes
take a
I do
Zyrtec.
get itchy, but I don't know if I ever get the itchies.
Just take a Zyrtec, man.
Do you get the itchies?
If I go a long period of time without an allergy pill, sometimes I'll kind of start feeling itchy.
Fair
That
enough.
makes sense.
My head will be like that. I have a pretty dry scalp.
Oh, yeah. Get
And
that
so
special shampoo.
When I use special shampoo, I just have a naturally drier scalp. And so whenever I get home at the end of the day, I'll often find myself with my hand, just touching the back of my head. It's weird.
That is weird. I probably would have kept that to myself.
Why would you keep that to yourself? This is a family. Everybody needs to know.
Toilet should be able to do self-cleaning. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice, but I don't know how that would work.
Elevators need an option to press a floor button a second time to cancel.
That is something that I believe is real in other countries, but the U.S. doesn't have that. I know that
hate
there was a guy
elevators.
from South Korea. I forget his name, but he's in one of the famous CSIs or whatever law show,
We got a lot of them.
police show. He was on an interview, and they asked him, what are some things you miss from Korea? And he was like, well, that's one of the things. And they're like,
that's cool.
they have that? And he's like, yeah, most places do.
For the ladies out there, mammograms. It's a tough thing to go through, mammogram.
It is kind of, whenever my mom, she's gotten mammograms, because it's just part of being a part
Flatten
of.
them like a pancake,
Yeah,
Brandon.
dude, they squish them, dude. What the heck?
It seemed like that would not be healthy. You know, they're trying to make... You're
gotta
supposed to
hurt,
do these
too.
screenings for prevention, but they're squishing them like that?
I'm sure it hurts.
Thank God guys don't have to do
Imagine if we had to do that with, yeah,
that. Be like, ah!
that would suck.
Having to constantly sign in on various websites.
Oh my
it
gosh,
drives
yeah,
me crazy.
I'm over that.
Dust accumulation. I hate dust, especially after you just clean your house and you go sit down. You're like, is that dust just where I dusted? So they're like, they need to have a gadget that sucks the dust particles in
Do
the
you know
air
what
before they
dust
settle.
is?
No, what
A
is
lot
it?
of the times, it's dead skin. 90% of dust is dead skin.
This is probably TMI and gross, but I get that more so in my bathrooms, and it's like it accumulates on the lavatory, on the counter, in
Dude.
the back, and it drives me crazy. It's like little dust.
For all of the words that you mispronounced during this morning show, you're going to pull lavatory out like it's nothing, dude? Who the hell are you?
I can't
It's
stand
usually
that.
on the lavatory.
I can't stand that. It's like that's the only dirty place in the bathrooms, and I feel like everything is dirty when I see that on my bathroom sink. Is that better for
I'm
you?
still taken aback by the fact that you knew the word lavatory.
Being able to successfully clean the inside of a windshield. Don't you hate when you have like a smear of the
that
inside?
sucks, dude. And when I have to take my dog to and from Dallas whenever I go. And so his nose juice is all over the inside of my car.
Nose juice.
Stupid.
I don't think it's called nose juice.
You know what it is.
Oh my goodness. The hardened up buildup that happens in a lotion and soap pump.
Oh yeah, that does kind of suck.
And then you go and you push it and then it just squirts everywhere. I hate that. All right. I always chuckle when it does that though. And then printers that
can't look at you, dude.
Printers that can't reliably print. I have bad luck with printers. Like every time I've had one, they don't last long. It's like they don't connect. They don't want to print sometimes. It's a pain in the butt. And lastly, there has to be a better way to package flour. I don't cook, so I
agree with that one. Anytime you open up a thing of flour, you're like, well, my house is white now.
So let us know what's a everyday inconvenience that should be solved by now. You just can't stand it. 318-473-0093 or send us a DM at Q93 Alexandria and at Morning Q. Week 3 of the National Football League begins tonight with the Jets hosting the New England Patriots. That'll be on Amazon Prime Video. We got to make our weekly pick'ems. Last week, I extended my lead over Brandon
by 2 more games. Last week you finished 9-7. I finished 7-9. The 2 differences that we had, I lost both of them. Josh, you won the Buffalo versus Miami game. I had taken Miami. I originally had Buffalo, but we are going to allow changes if you wouldn't have allowed the change.
You're the one that changed it.
I know, but
you can change it up to the time we do this segment. After that, it's locked in.
Once we move to the next team, so like if we're discussing the team and such, I think that's what we agreed upon.
Yes.
Yes.
Until you change it again.
No, I won't go back and change it.
Last year, I didn't have that luxury last year. When I picked it, I had to pick it, and I still beat you.
Well, there were a couple times that it was after the Thursday night game.
The pick'ems are rigged, and I'm still winning.
It was after the Thursday night game, and you were like, I want to change a couple of my things. I was like, dude, no, the week's already started. So last week, like I said, Josh finished 9-7. I finished 7-9. Josh's overall record is 19-13. My overall record, 15-17. So let's get to what really matters. This week, our NFL pick'ems, it's going to be a simple week. We have no differences unless Josh changes one, which he's more than welcome to do.
There's a couple I thought about picking different, but I was like, I'll do a safe pick.
I'll move a little slow in case you want to move one or in case you want to change one.
You already move slow, so it's okay.
Whatever, Josh. So, New England versus the New York Jets. We're both taking the Jets, the Giants, and Cleveland. We're both taking Cleveland. Green Bay and Tennessee. We're both taking Green Bay.
Almost took Tennessee on this one.
You can if you'd like. Would you like to change it?
No, I'm going to stay with the Packers.
Chicago and Indiana. That game's a toss-up. I think it's a 1-point spread.
Did we pick Chicago?
We both picked Indiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched that Chicago offense on, what was it, Monday Night Football?
Right.
And it was...
But their defense is legit. So
can't win like that,
You're staying with Indiana?
Yeah.
I'm staying with Indiana as well.
Every time I pick the Colts, though, they let me down.
Houston and Minnesota. We're both going Houston. New Orleans and Philadelphia. In New Orleans, I think I've learned my lesson picking against the Saints. We're both going with the Saints. Los Angeles in Pittsburgh. We're both going with the Chargers. That's a game that's another kind of toss-up.
Yeah.
I almost went with Pittsburgh, but I didn't know if I should or not. I don't know. I almost kind of want to change it, but then again, if we end this week all the same, then c'est la vie. Denver and Tampa Bay. We're both going with Tampa Bay.
Poor Sean Payton. He's having some struggles again this season.
Carolina and Las Vegas. We're both going with Las Vegas. Gardner Minshew is the truth, and shout out Brock Bowers. Miami and Seattle. We're both going with Seattle because there's a banged-up Miami team over there. Baltimore in Dallas. We're both going with Dallas, a bounce-back win in Dallas.
Dallas ain't losing 2 home games.
I don't know if they're going to lose 2 home games in a row. San Francisco and the Los Angeles Rams. We're both going with San Francisco. Detroit and Arizona. That's a hard game that I didn't know how to pick. We're both going with Detroit. I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona snuck that game out.
Same.
Kansas City and Atlanta. Another game. That's a sneaky game.
I could see Atlanta beating the
We're both
Chiefs.
going with Kansas City, but hopefully Kansas City wins this game,
But
and it's not
Brandon?
Atlanta.
Typically, when a team comes back and wins the game at the last second, like the Falcons, they usually lose the next week historically. So I'm going with the
That's
Chiefs.
the same thing that the Chiefs did last week too against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give. Buffalo and Jacksonville in Buffalo are both going with Buffalo because Trevor Lawrence is he's so mediocre. It's not even funny. Cincinnati and Washington, we're both going with Cincinnati. We'll see what happens this week. Josh, are you thinking about changing any of them?
I kind of was thinking about changing the Arizona pick.
You want to go Arizona over Detroit?
I think I do.
All right, let's make that change now before we move on. Is that the only change you wanted to make? I know that we had discussed the Pittsburgh and the LA Chargers game. Do you want to take that risk?
No. I think I could see Detroit having some tough times at the beginning of the season here.
So there you have it. We've got one difference this week. I could make up a game, or I could lose another game on Josh.
Yesterday was National Cheeseburger Day, and if you participated, did you actually consume any real cheese? That may be up for debate here because Mashed.com has a report out this morning on the fast food chains that do and do not use real cheese. Are you ready for this, Brandon?
Nobody uses real cheese anymore, Josh. It's always that stupid American cheese, and I hate it. It's gross. It's disgusting. I gave it another shot not too long ago, Josh, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. I went to this restaurant with one of my friends, and they were a very nice family that owned this restaurant. Mm-hmm. They were, I believe, Pakistani. They had just opened the place, and they were telling me about the burger. They were telling me about the burgers that they were offering, and they said it comes with American cheese. And I said, well, do you have any replacements? And they go, no, it's just American. And I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. And I did. And Josh, I tried so hard to stomach it and get it down. I couldn't do it, dude. It made me literally ill.
It doesn't mean it's fake cheese, though.
No,
it
was.
Don't like American
it was
cheese.
fake. Oh. It was American cheese. It was gross. And the family, they came. The lady, I guess the restaurant owner, she came back to the table. This is all in Dallas. This isn't anybody here, just so people know. She came back to the table and she goes, "Oh, you didn't like it?" And I was like, "No, it was great. I just sometimes cheese upsets my stomach," which was true because it does upset my stomach. But I also just didn't want to be rude and say that American cheese is nasty,
you're
dude.
So damn picky, man.
It's nasty.
Oh, man, I've been to a restaurant with you. You like to talk too sweet to those people that work there, too.
You got to talk sweet to them.
You're a big suck up, and it drives me crazy. You're like, yeah, Brandon, thank you so much. Yeah. I love you. Thank you for this cheese and this coffee.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude, I want to slap you. You're not even that nice to your best friends.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, fast food places that do use real cheese in most menu items include Starbucks, Taco Bell, which I'm curious about that because I'm telling you, the little shredded cheese they put on your tacos, that stuff don't melt. I had some left over in my truck one day, and I got back in my truck the next day. This is in the summer, too. And then that melt. The cheese was just plastic. It basically is just plastic. I'm just saying. I guess the other products, Taco Bell uses real cheese. Chipotle, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, which just opened back up here in Alexandria.
Oh, yeah.
Jack in the Box. Panrina, is that what it's called? Panrina?
Panera?
Panera, yeah.
Panrina? Is that what it's called? Actually, no. That's not what it's called. Panrina?
I've never been
there. What is it, Panrina? No, it's not Panrina, Josh.
Look, I said lavatory. Give me a break.
Golly, dude.
The ones that do not include real cheese. McDonald's. So you have a reason to not like their breakfast sandwiches, Brandon, with that cheese.
Well, I always ask for it with no cheese on it because you know me.
Burger King. I'm not a fan of their breakfast at Burger King. I'm just not.
Burger King's breakfast isn't bad.
No, their burgers, they always like hyping up that they cook them on that flame grill or whatever. That causes cancer. So,
dude, are you spreading misinformation
no,
right now?
Those charcoal, what they say, hot off the grill or a flame grill. What did they call it?
Like a charcoal grill. Yeah.
It's proven that causes cancer agents, the chemicals. So, I'm just saying.
You're so funny, dude.
Allegedly.
I'm going to get sued.
Bojangles, which we don't have one around here. Dairy Queen. That's okay, because I don't get cheese at Dairy Queen. I get that chicken strip basket, babe, with that white
I get that
gravy.
chicken strip basket,
Oh,
baby.
it's
I get
so
that chicken
good.
strip basket.
Oh.
They're so funny.
So good. How can we extend our weekend, make it feel longer? Because last weekend I felt like it went by really, really quick.
Well, there's no actual way to make your weekend longer, but there's ways to make it feel longer, Josh.
So you lied to me.
No, I didn't lie to you. I said ways to make your weekend feel longer. If you play it back, you gooberhead. You're not listening. You're not using those active listening skills that you should have learned.
Feel is the same thing as making it longer.
No.
If it feels longer, then it is longer.
It's not. You're wrong on this one. I hate to tell you. So here's some ways to make it feel longer. Do your weekend chores during the work week. It's a little easier to accomplish it if you're working from home, but that way your weekends are for you and not those endless tasks that seem to pile up before the weekend. You can wake up early every day and you'll get more out of your days and you don't mess up your sleep schedule from the rest of the work week. Josh, I'll tell you this. This is something that I kind of practice on the weekends. I just naturally, my body wakes up early. I probably get about an hour, maybe 2 hours more of sleep.
Right.
But by getting up early, my days are so much longer and they feel like the weekends feel more useful to me. They don't just feel like I slept away the weekend. Oh, it went nowhere. And maybe you should try this too, because I know your sleep schedule is all jacked up.
It is very jacked up, but that is horrible advice, Brad.
No, Josh,
You want to
this
make
is
your
good
Saturday
advice.
and Sunday feel longer? Wake up on time. Wake up early. Don't sleep in. Well, get out of here, man.
Dude, here's some of the pros of...
How about we do this instead? Let's make Friday part of the weekend. That's how we can make the weekend feel longer.
No, Josh. If you wake up early, you get to go get some breakfast, get some of those donuts that you've been wanting all week, get some coffee. You can get all of that kind of stuff. Fridays are part of the weekend, the Friday night. So make plans for Friday night. That's my next tip. You'll get in something fun to kick off the weekend. So when Saturday rolls around, you'll still feel like you have 2 weekend days left. Just don't get too wild or stay out too late on Friday. Otherwise, Saturday will be a throwaway day. So on those Friday nights, maybe go out with the boys and maybe have a good time and all that. And you stay out just a little bit late, but not too late. So whenever you wake up on Saturday, you go, oh my gosh, I still have 2 days of the weekend.
There's no better feeling than going to bed Friday night knowing that your alarm clock is not going to be going off the next day.
But imagine if you made the most of that Friday. It's going to make it that much better. And then here's the last thing I have. Split your weekends between doing stuff and doing nothing, meaning you spend Friday and Saturday doing things like maybe hanging out with friends, errands, and chores. And then on Sunday, do nothing as a way to reset. Or you could do it the other way around, however you so feel.
How does doing something make your weekend feel longer, Brandon? It'll make it go by quicker.
It's all about perspective, Josh, because here's the thing. You, for example, what you do on the weekends is I bet you sleep until 2 p.m. You wake up and you go, well, where'd the day go? Well, you slept it away, Josh.
Because I need some rest, man. I don't usually sleep till 2, but I will usually on Saturday, like sleep late and then eventually go take like a nap in the afternoon.
See, that's lazy. You got to go do something with your weekend. Make it feel nice.
We'd like to welcome back in studio Darren with Bluebell Ice Cream. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning. How are y'all this morning?
Doing well. What about you guys?
Man, it's Friday.
Finally. It's been a long week.
It has. It has. It's kind of drug by a little bit.
You asked how we were doing, and I got to say, I don't know if we're ever any better than whenever you come by. We get to have ice cream for breakfast.
I got the best job in town. I get
You really
to give
do,
away
man.
Bluebell ice
You
cream.
do.
Man.
You probably have a lot of friends, too, because you just
A
bring
lot.
ice cream.
Can you come
A
by every
lot.
day? Is that something you can do?
So what's the new flavor you guys just announced?
We're excited, Josh. This is a chocolate brownie truffle ice cream.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
It's a milk chocolate ice cream loaded with chocolate brownie pieces, chocolate truffle pieces. And if that's not enough, it's got a chocolate icing swirl throughout.
Yeah, and I just gave it a taste. It is pretty good. I'll tell you that.
I'm about to dive in myself.
It's very good, and I was joking earlier that it probably would go so well with like a little bit of espresso poured on top of it or something.
Yeah.
It's very chocolatey. It's very rich.
I was thinking the same thing. It's
That is
like
good.
I said, if you want to make a milkshake and put that foam on top,
Yes.
put a cherry on. As a matter of fact, we did experiment with that. And, let's just say there wasn't a drop
How are you
left.
not like 300 pounds, man? Like, if you're around ice cream like this all the time, how are you
works
not
out.
a
He
good
works
40
out.
pounds heavier?
Well, I go off-roading a lot.
Okay.
In the woods and stuff. And I guess that helps me a little bit. 'Cause
man,
I
good
can't eat
for
ice
you.
cream out there. I get away from it for a week.
I would. They'd have to roll me around if I worked for Bluebell.
I hear. Hey, it's hard. It's hard. It is. It's tough.
It's tough out
But
there.
somebody's got to do
Yeah.
it. You know, it's a tough job.
What sizes is this available in?
We got it in the half gallons and the pints for a limited time.
So if you're single or if you're a family, you can get both.
Right. Or if you just don't want to dip it out and just pull the lid off, the pints are awesome, man. That's that's what I like to do. And stick it in the microwave about 23 seconds.
Oh, you got it down to the second.
I have a little experience doing that.
This is really good. I appreciate you bringing it in, man.
Always a pleasure.
And you can leave the ice cream with us.
We are. We're going to let your whole crew, whole team try it out.
They don't need none of the other
Okay,
stations.
Just leave it in here.
We can do that.
Thanks for listening to the Best of the Morning Q Crew podcast. Wake up with the Morning Q Crew weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. on Q93, Alexandria's #1 hit music station. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss the best moments from the show each week.